Alright, guys, I'm back with another chapter in Deuteronomy. We're in Deuteronomy chapter 9, where the header reads, Victory by God's Grace. And we'll get right into it. Listen, O Israel. Today you are about to cross the Jordan River to take over the land belonging to nations much greater and more powerful than you. They live in cities with walls that reach to the sky. The people are strong and tall, descendants of the famous Anakite giants. You've heard the saying, who can stand up to the Anakites? But recognize today that the Lord your God is the one who will cross over ahead of you like a devouring fire to destroy them. He will subdue them so that you will quickly conquer them and drive them out, just as the Lord has promised. After the Lord your God has done this for you, don't say in your hearts, the Lord has given us this land because we are such good people. No. It is because of the wickedness of the other nations that he is pushing them out of your way. It is not because you are so good or have such integrity that you are about to occupy their land. The Lord your God will drive these nations out ahead of you only because of their wickedness, and to fulfill the oath he swore to your ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You must recognize that the Lord your God is not giving you this good land because you are good, for you are not. You are a stubborn people. Remember and never forget how angry you made the Lord your God out in the wilderness. From the day you left Egypt until now, you have been constantly rebelling against him. Even at Mount Sinai, you made the Lord so angry he was ready to destroy you. This happened when I was on the mountain, receiving the tablets of stone inscribed with the words of the covenant that the Lord had made with you. I was there for 40 days and 40 nights. And all that time I ate no food and drank no water. The Lord gave me the 2 tablets on which God had written with his own finger all the words he had spoken to you from the heart of the fire when you were assembled at the mountain. At the end of the 40 days and nights, the Lord handed me the 2 stone tablets inscribed with the words of the covenant. Then the Lord said to me, Get up, go down immediately, for the people you brought out of Egypt have corrupted themselves. How quickly they have turned away from the way I commanded them to live. They have melted gold and made an idol for themselves. The Lord also said to me, I have seen how stubborn and rebellious these people are. Leave me alone so I may destroy them and erase their name from under heaven. Then I will make a mighty nation of your descendants, a nation larger and more powerful than they are. So while the mountain was blazing with fire, I turned and came down, holding in my hands the 2 stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant. There below me I could see that you had sinned against the Lord your God. You had melted gold and made a calf idol for yourselves. How quickly you had turned away from the path the Lord had commanded you to follow. So I took the stone tablets and threw them to the ground, smashing them before your eyes. Then, as before, I threw myself down before the Lord for 40 days and nights. I ate no bread and drank no water, because of the great sin you had committed by doing what the Lord hated, provoking him to anger. I feared that the furious anger of the Lord, which turned him against you, would drive him to destroy you, but again he listened to me. The Lord was so angry with Aaron that he wanted to destroy him too, but I prayed for Aaron, and the Lord spared him. I took your sin, the calf you had made, and I melted it down in the fire and ground it into fine dust. Then I threw the dust into the stream that flows down the mountain. You also made the Lord angry at Taberah, Massa, and Kibroth Hattava, and at Kadesh Barnea. The Lord sent you out with this command: Go up and take over the land I have given you. But you rebelled against the command of the Lord your God, and refused to put your trust in him or obey him. Yes, you have been rebelling against the Lord as long as I have known you. That is why I threw myself down before the Lord for 40 days and nights. For the Lord said he would destroy you. I prayed to the Lord and said, O sovereign Lord, do not destroy them. They are your own people. They are your special possession, whom you redeemed from Egypt by your mighty power and your strong hand. Please overlook the stubbornness and the awful sin of these people, and remember instead your servants, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you destroy these people, The Egyptians will say, the Israelites died because the Lord wasn't able to bring them to the land he had promised to give them. Or they might say, he destroyed them because he hated them. He deliberately took them into the wilderness to slaughter them. But they are your people and your special possession, whom you brought out of Egypt by your great strength and powerful arm. And that is the end of chapter 9 of Deuteronomy, guys. I really enjoy reflecting on these chapters, and I do my best to try not to project an opinion that would deviate from what I think is the intention of the Bible. And that's just because I don't want to be a reason why someone else stumbles or falters. And so I don't want anyone to have a misconception as why I like to do these like little reflections. But one thing that really speaks to me after reading chapter 9 of Deuteronomy is the fact that part of me can't stand the fact that it sounds like Moses is coaching God. It sounds like absolute lunacy. And it sounds like, oh, hey, God got upset. I had to talk him off the edge. And I can't stomach that and how it reads in my head. And so one thing that I do to make it make sense to me is maybe that simply being a teaching lesson for Moses. Say, you understand the authority that you wield, Moses. Not so much God. God understands, obviously. But Moses' interpretation and understanding of how ultimate God's power is. Maybe that strong reflection is why Moses is able to be so humble. Not that that's not something that's just a unique gift that Moses has, but maybe the fact that God helped coach him up in that. Say, hey, you understand that I can just kill everybody here, right? So what if I was to leave that up to you? Well, Moses, what do you think I should do? Do you think I should just wipe everybody out and start fresh? Having a glimpse of the authority that God truly has over every breath that we take in the hands of a man that doesn't know how to wield that, and not to say that God is a weapon to be wielded, even though he says the Bible's a sword and we can use that as a weapon to glorify God's name and all those things. But when you really think that God is not something that you wield, it's almost like something you unleash. God is just, he's everything for us. And so when he's there to fight your battles, it's almost like saying when he goes ahead, you're not in control of where he goes and how he operates and what he does. He is in ultimate control. And so when he goes to fight your battles, you allow him on your behalf. Tell God, please go before us and do what you only know to do. And so I can't help but think that the opportunities that God gave Moses, and that conversation that he had with him, and the continued conversations he had with him, because it also mentions previously in, I think, Numbers, where it says that Moses was chosen. He speaks plainly to Moses. And I can't help but think, but that's because he's refining and pruning a leader. And it's very difficult for leaders to not defeat themselves when they maybe get confused by a riddle, or they don't see the truth, and they can't see the forest through the trees, if you will. And right now, I currently have a fantastic leader in my life who helps me with that. And I can't help but think that without good examples and speaking plainly, and sometimes there's metaphors used, but very, very specifically with specific intent. And even the metaphors are explained if they are used. And so with that, I can't help but think that God was showing him the authority that he gave him. And so when I see that, it just makes me appreciate God even more. Because when I read that plainly, it confuses me, as if God might be conceived as impetuous and just doing his own thing and throwing a fit. And I don't think it is, not even close. I think it's showing Moses that this is an option. This is always an option. Everything is always an option at my table, because I am the Alpha and the Omega. And so the tolerance and so really it was just refining Moses. Say, I can make all this go away now. He's like, no, 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 please forgive them. To be humble on the behalf of an entire nation is so awe-inspiring. It's difficult. It's difficult for me to be humble for myself, let alone for my family of 6, let alone for the school that I serve, the people that I serve. But man, when you see the potential the way God sees you, and God can train you to see that way if you submit. When you give in to seeing people the way that He sees you, you will know better. And when God gives you, hey, what would you like to see happen here? How humbling that is. God, please forgive them. I want you to deal with them as I would want you to deal with me. Forgiveness. I'm a sinner. I'm stumbling all the time. Forgive them. Give them another chance. Keep giving them chances, because it'll work out. You'll move them. You'll soften their hearts, because they'll see how gracious that you are. And not everybody got those chances. And I won't say they didn't get those chances. They were extended that grace, and they continued to abuse it. I'll say that. And so on that note, I'll get off my soapbox. Have a good night. God bless. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll be back for chapter 10 of Deuteronomy tomorrow, where the header reads, A New Copy of the Covenant. Have a good night and God bless, guys. I appreciate you listening to this rant tonight. See you tomorrow.